What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren. You're watching the Valentines, where we cover all things homegrown and homemade. A lot of the videos that I make on this channel are about how I make many of the items that I sell at my farmer's market booth and sell through my small business. And this video today is going to be specifically about making my lead generation list for wholesaling my candles to local retail stores. This video is part of a larger series where I am focusing on wholesaling my candles and taking you with you on every step of the journey. I just published recently a video about selling my candles at the farmer's market and how much I actually made. Also have a video about juggling motherhood in a small business and why I am choosing to focus on candles right now. And then upcoming, I will be actually showing how, making my line sheet and the actual promotional marketing materials I'm going to be using as I visit stores, and then even taking you guys along and sharing feedback and results as I visit stores. So if all of that is of interest to you, if you're in a similar spot where you make or produce items on your farm and you want to get them into more stores, be sure to subscribe because we are right in the middle of this series on wholesale. So if you are someone who is on that same journey, I think this is going to be really helpful for you. I'm going to share my screen in a moment and go through exactly what I include in my lead list and a why, and how that's going to be actionable when I actually go out and make sales calls and try to meet some of these decision makers at these local stores and boutiques. I will also mention that I am not on fair right now, so this video is just about me going out, I am going to be using this lead list to hit the streets and visit each of these individual stores to develop a personal relationship with them and sell wholesale to them that way. I do have experience with fair. I've been on fair in the past. I even received an order through fair, but I quickly realized that I just didn't have the bandwidth to keep that up, so I put my store on pause. But I just wanted to mention that because fair is a very popular thing amongst makers, and that's not what this video is about today. This is about going out in your local community and developing relationships. I can share a little bit of my experience. Before I started my small business and my farmer's market business, I did work in sales in the professional world for over 10 years. I was in medical sales. I was also in sponsorship sales for many years, and I even managed a sales team. So I am taking some of those lessons and best practices from the business world and applying it to my small business. This is also not my first time doing wholesale for my products. In the past, I was in about 7 different stores, some of which ordered from me quite regularly. And I also wholesaled a variety of products. So in addition to my candles, I also wholesaled my soaps, lip balms, and bath bombs. So I'm definitely bringing a couple different avenues of experience to this video today. Now, right now, I'm just focusing on wholesaling my candles because at this juncture in my life with my responsibilities as a mom and managing my farm, that's about all the bandwidth I have. So I'm focusing on my 2 most profitable candle sizes. This is one of my candles. This is the salsa jar. It's a 12-ounce soy candle, phthalate-free, lead-free wicks, USA grown soy wax. And then also my 3-wick jar, which is a 15-ounce soy candle. And all of my candles are themed for Virginia. So I carry candle names and fragrances such as Blue Ridge Sunset, Appalachian Trail, Chesapeake Bay, Dogwood Flower. You get the idea. So I'll talk more about that later, but I do think if you are getting into starting a candle business, having a niche like that is probably a good thing to do. Okay, so enough of the background. Let's get into a little bit more specifically about what we're doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay, so I am using Google Sheets for my candle lead list. Okay, so a little bit more about why we're using Google Sheets here. A couple reasons. One is that it is free. It is also very easy to use. But another reason is that you can have it here on your computer and do a lot of the advanced forming, but I also, another reason is you can have it open on your computer and do a lot of the advanced formatting, but I also have the Google Sheets app on my phone, and that is very useful to me for taking notes out in the field as I am going and visiting these store owners and visiting the stores. So that's why I like this. Now, in the past, I have used more advanced CRM tools, so customer relationship management tools. I've used Salesforce for many years. I've also used Insightly, which is one I will probably use again. And the reason, again, that I like using Google Sheets is maybe you're not ready to jump into a big CRM database and a software that you have to manage, but one day you might be, and it's really nice to have things in this spreadsheet format because you can then export a CSV file and then upload it and import it into your CRM system. Something I have also done many times for myself and for clients. It takes a little bit of cleaning things up and matching your columns to your fields in your CRM, but so just keep that in mind later if you do want to switch to a CRM, which I will be doing. It's just nice to have something in an Excel format where you can take a CSV file and upload it into your customer relationship management software. All right, so let's talk about this lead list tool and why I have chosen these specific categories that I have in the specific information that I am including in the spreadsheet. So column A, of course, is the store or the establishment that is on my lead list. I also have another area column B, and this really helps because eventually I am going to be sorting these by the area or the neighborhood so that I can use Google Maps and create a map. So if I know that I am going to a particular area of town one day, I can quickly look up which of these are in that proximity and just be very targeted with my time and my gas money. So the area is very important. I also have a category list. This is going to be really important for analyzing your data later and understanding which categories are the most profitable for you, or which ones are more underserved. This is a very important category too if you're going to upload this information into a CRM software later. This is a really good one to have. Categories are also another great way to brainstorm. So as you are building your lead list, think about all the different categories of businesses that might carry your product. So here I have like a grocery, farm market, boutique, aka gift store. What I don't have on here, which could be a good category, is salons. A lot of hair and nail salons have a pretty robust retail section now. Another one you might think of is coffee shops. Many coffee shops, I have wholesaled to coffee shops in the past. They are a great category. So I have this other tab where I'm just adding my categories that I may want to consider to help make my lead list even larger and more robust. Next is grade. So this is really helpful too because I'm basically using the grade of A, B, or C. I do use a question mark if I have no idea. So grade A is going to be like super good fit. I already know that either from visiting them in the past or a recommendation from a friend. B is like, still a good fit, but not as high as A. And then C would be probably not a great fit, but not impossible. And this is just really helpful too, because if I only have one day that I can go out and visit stores during the week, what I'm probably gonna do is come to this spreadsheet. I'm gonna sort by the area first and then by the grade. So that's gonna let me know which stores are in the area that I'm going to, and I can hit the A's first. Like I say, I have 100 leads. Okay, so this is a long-term strategy. I really want to make that clear. It's going to take a long time to visit all of these and visit them multiple times, enough to develop the relationship. I have had stores that I visited 3 times and they never ordered from me. And then I had stores where I visited once and the person ordered right on the site. But I tend to follow the 1 out of 10 sales principle that for every 10 leads that I visit, come into contact with, I'm going to close hopefully at least 1. I think when you're more targeted with your leads and you really have very qualified leads, you can do better than that. But I just like to err on the side of caution or the lower side, so that if I end up making more than that, it's a surprise and it doesn't lead to disappointment. So just something to keep in mind. So grade is nice to have to help you prioritize your list. Now moving on to column E, highlighted here, is the decision maker. So this is always in any kind of sales training that you'll ever do, finding out who the real decision maker is like so important. So if I go visit this little gourmet grocery store down the street from me, whoever is working the counter that day, they could just be a part-time employee, or it could be the store owner. You really don't know. So finding out who the decision maker is and getting their info is the best thing, because then you are working directly with the person who's going to make the decision. You're not relying on a middleman who may or may not relay information in a timely manner or even at all. So that's why I have the column for who the decision maker is, and of course their email and their phone number. Now I also have who the alternative contact is, AKA the gatekeeper. So here in column H. And that person is the person who you might meet, who's the part-time employee who is working the counter. And the thing about them is they are the gatekeeper. That's kind of a traditional sales jargon. They're the person you need to get through to get to the decision maker. I don't love the word gatekeeper because it's kind of a negative connotation, and I just want to be as positive as possible. Sales can really be up and down. So I usually refer to them as like a very important person or an alternative contact, and developing the relationship with them is just as important, especially if they're the person that you're going to see most of the time. You know, if they don't like you, they're probably not going to help you get in touch with the owner. All right, so moving on here, this is a little section that I use: first, second, third. So this is going to be my first outreach, my second outreach, and my third outreach. And this in these cells is where I will take notes about exactly what happened. So when, you know, I could stop by and talk to the salesperson and they just say, oh, well, I'll pass your information along. That's not a great outcome, but it happens often. Or, you know, they could give me, they're like, oh yeah, you need to contact this person directly. Here's their card. They make all the buying decisions. Cool. So I write that down. I have a column for first, second, and third because it's nice to make a rule for yourself before you start contacting leads to say, okay, to me, what is a fully vetted lead, right? So if I make 3 different contacts, especially in person, and I don't really get anywhere, what I'm going to consider is that that's kind of a really soft lead, and I might make a note, not going to sink any more time into that particular store, but I might make a note to revisit them in 6 months or something like that. Again, this is a really long-term thing. As you go through and you visit stores and you fill in all these columns, it's really more like weaving a web. You don't see the You don't always see the gains at first, but then you've built a really strong foundation. So that's a little advice for me is have your criteria of what a fully vetted lead is going to be for you, how much activity you can realistically do, how many times you can realistically contact them before you say, okay, to me that was fully vetted and I didn't get anywhere and I'm gonna move on. But it surely shouldn't be one time. I suggest at least 3 outreaches and follow-ups. Then I just have a notes section here in column L, any important notes. And then I always like to put their Facebook and Instagram handles, and I should probably add a column for, their website as well. Another thing that you could do that would be really helpful if you're out driving around is you could put a link to their Google Map location so that you can just really quickly on your phone click on that and then drive to it. So there are different ways that you may want to personalize a spreadsheet like this, for your own type of products and your own workflow and how your day goes. In my case, I am going to have my son with me when I'm making the majority of these calls. He's about to turn 2 years old, so I'm going to have him in the stroller. And so if I visit 3 stores a week, that would be really good. Which, it's just, that's where I am in my life right now. In the past, when I managed sales teams, like they would have to, our sales reps would have to visit a minimum of 8 of our prospects or clients a day, which is hustling, if depending on how far apart those locations are geographically to drive to, and then how long it takes to meet with a person that you're hoping to meet with. But anyway, this is what I'm doing. I'll be filling this out. I actually do already have information for some of these, but again, I didn't want to clutter it for you guys for the sake of this video. But please subscribe. You've caught me in the middle of the series where next I'm going to be doing a video about my sales sheet, the sales flyer that I'm taking with me that has my line sheet on it. I'm also going to have an upcoming video about actually going and visiting some of these stores and then sharing with you what happens. I really think that's a nitty-gritty information that I would have wanted if I was just starting out and doing this. Yeah. So thank you as always for watching. If you found this video really helpful, consider giving a super thanks. I would so appreciate that. Or just like and subscribe. Those are super free ways to support this work here. And as always, so grateful for you watching and stopping by the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful day.